Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to systematize, simplify, and accelerate the growth of their new or existing weight loss practice. I'm your host, Carol Clark, and today we're talking about a really important topic for any practice that wants to thrive, and that is the three types of employees that are necessary in order to create a transformative team. Now, in really, really small practices, you still likely have 3 people, but these are the ones that are most important. And initially, you might have one person, maybe it's you, who thinks you need to do all of these at the same time, but you will find that you will be able to grow your practice and streamline and simplify your life so much sooner and so much faster if you have these 3 different types of employees working together in a collegial manner. So there's lots that goes into that, of course, but the first one is to have a leader and a visionary. Oftentimes this may be the founder of the practice or whoever the physician is in charge or the practice administrator, but typically it's the person who's really that visionary, that leader who helps to provide direction, to inspire others to be their best, set that clear direction for the practice, and you actually foster a sense of purpose and unity within that team. So you are the one driving the bigger picture. And it's one of those things that maybe some of us have multiple skills in these 3 different types of employees, but literally there's somebody who is guiding that and helps to keep things on track when some people can get lost in the weeds. The second type of employee that's really important is the creative one who's also collaborative. And the creative one helps to come up with new ideas and collaborate with the team, pull them together to kind of figure out how to make things happen. And so they are, a lot of times, they might be a little bit more, a flight of ideas, like they go through lots of different ideas, but they're really a creative sort. And like I say, and then they actually help to inspire others to take this idea that they have and to make that idea even better, and then to go ahead and hone in on what that's actually going to look like. So it's a very different type of a team member, and they can sometimes have different types of personalities, but it's really important to have somebody who's creative on your team, who's a collaborator and pulls people together and helps get those ideas off the ground. The third type of employee that's really, really helpful and necessary is your optimizer and innovator. And this person is the one who can see what the vision is, and they can see all these different ideas coming together, and they can kind of pull it together into the plan on how to make it happen. I'll give you some specific examples, but they also tend to be very resilient. They also tend to be very adaptable. These can oftentimes be clinicians or practitioners in the practice. You know, we're kind of into that, how do you make it happen? Billers are like this, people do billing collection. Oftentimes those that are at the front desk, they can do this as well. But anyhow, having somebody on your team with all 3 of these skill sets, or 3 different people with these skill sets, is really important. We may think that we need to be the one who does it all, but we don't have to be the one who does it all. And like I say, you'll get there much faster if you're not the one who's doing it all. So let me give you a few examples. So in our practice, our visionary is, I tend to have, and not that I'm anything that, but I tend to want to do all 3 of these. I just love so many different aspects of practice management. But my husband's more the visionary. He's Dr. Tom Clark. He's more the visionary. He can kind of keep things at that 30,000 viewpoint. He knows where we're going. He has that vision. And then I have members on my team that are super creative. That's why we do a lot of our marketing in-house, because we come up with our own ideas, we come up with our own creatives, our own graphics, our own books, our own everything. So I have some people that are really, really creative, and they can sometimes be a little cantankerous sometimes on the team, believe it or not, but they make us think out of our box. So they get us into that groove where we're doing things differently that actually attracts more patients that we want to work with. So we have people who do that. And then the third type would be our or optimizer or innovator, the person who kind of takes it and makes it happen. Now, when we've developed any of our practices, Tom's been kind of like the visionary and I've been the optimizer. I'm the one who takes it and makes it happen. It's just the way that we operate. It's a beautiful, we not only have a great marriage, but we also work really well together as a business. And I used to think I couldn't delegate or to anyone else. But we built this team with managers and team members who fall into these 3 different categories. And I don't have to be the one who's running everything. Nowadays, the practice runs itself and I work full time on Weight Loss Practice Builder. So Tom is still the visionary. And I have some very creative and collaborative people. Actually I've got 3 of them, Kat, Dawn, and Kat, and even some team members that fall into that, but they can go into different roles where they need to be. And then in terms of our innovator or optimizer on how to make it happen, Dawn's really good at that. One of my cats is really good at that. They all are good at that as well, but they can get into a meeting and they can have a really sort of a bantering back and forth discussion about what's the idea, where do we need to go with this? And then I just kind of help keep that big picture. Here's the goal. Are we meeting the goal? Are things happening in that direction? So we have people who now fill all 3 of these different types of roles, and it really works very well. I also have, of course, as you probably do on your team, other people you can identify in all 3 of these roles. When I come into a practice, I can see if they have a lot of innovators or if they have a lot of optimizers or if they have a lot of leaders that they can't get anything done because they're all trying to take it on their own vision and take things down a different path. I can take a look at a team and sometimes I can identify somebody who's really quiet and not really sharing their ideas. And they might be the key to the puzzle piece that's missing that is keeping you from getting from here to there in a faster motion. So taking the time to view this and look at your team members from this perspective can be really helpful in terms of getting something accomplished. So I wanted to bring that up. Number 1, to make sure that you know that you need to have all these different personalities, these different skill sets on your team. You need to understand who has these skill sets, who might be someone who can be developed into that skill set, and then how to maximize or optimize the synergistic complement that this brings to the table for your practice. So anyhow, that's sort of a view of the 3 different types of employees that really can contribute to a transformative synergistic team. And when you get that going and you get things moving in that direction, it is very exciting. So anyhow, I wish that for you. I hope that for you. And if you have it already, I'd love to hear how you have that working in your practice. If you don't, I'd love to work with you on how to create more of that in your practice. And if you're not a subscriber to the podcast yet, please subscribe. Share it with anyone who might find this helpful. And until the next time that we talk or you reach out to me or if you're part of membership, that would be great. I will talk to you soon. And I hope this has been helpful. In the meantime, take care.